We are coming to the end of the liturgical year in the church. Next week we celebrate the Feast of Christ the King, and 2 weeks from today is the first Sunday of Advent, and with the first Sunday of Advent we begin the year 2017 in the church. So 2 weeks from today we begin the new year in the church. So, which means that we're coming to the end of this current year, 2016. And as such, since we're coming to the end of our time during this year, the readings at Mass today reflect the end times. And so that's what we get in the first reading, the second reading, the gospel today. Since we're coming to the end of this liturgical year, the church finds it an opportune time to speak about the end times. From time to time, you and I hear other people speak about the end times. It's coming where people claim to be able to put together all of the numbers and dates and years that are written in the Bible, and they can claim that they can figure out when the end is near, when the end of the world is near. And from time to time, there are TV shows about that. There are two things I would like to say about all of these shows and other people that we hear about predicting the end of the world. There's two things I'd like to say about them. The first is, do not believe a word they say. The Bible was not written in such a way that it was meant to be interpreted in that fashion, that you can calculate and figure out exactly when the end of the world is going to take place. So don't believe a word they say. That in all the TV shows, I wish they would begin every TV program that talks about the end of the world with, for entertainment purposes only. Not to be taken seriously or watched. That's how they should start. So the first thing, and because it tends to play on people's fears, and that's not what we're about, playing on people's fears. So the first thing I would like to say about all of those predictions and shows, that documentaries that you'll see about when is the end of the world coming, don't believe a word they say. The second thing I'd like to say about that is, believe every word they say. If that's what it takes to be prepared. You and I still have to be prepared for, when we talk about the end of the world, what we're talking about is Jesus coming. Jesus coming to rescue us. And if that's what it takes to be prepared for the coming of Jesus, then believe every word they say. And be prepared for it. The last thing I'd like to say about that, though, is we ought not to fear it. It's not something that you and I are supposed to be afraid of, the coming of Jesus. You and I are supposed to be looking forward to it. We want it to happen, and we want it to happen to us. The first reading today explains it to us. It came from the book of the prophet Malachi. Lo, the day is coming like an oven. All right, it sounds ominous. I'll give you that. Lo, the day is coming like an oven when all the proud and all evildoers will be stubble. But then it goes on. But for you who fear my name, there will arise the Sun of Justice with its healing rays. Always embedded in the message of doom is salvation for those who follow God. And by fearing the name of the Lord, meaning having reverence for the name of the Lord, which we are demonstrating every time we come to church and pray and serve the needs of the poor. God, the Lord is coming back to rescue us, not to condemn us. So all of those, again, the people predicting the end of the world, and all of the so-called documentaries, TV shows, all of that is, for us, we're looking forward to it. The Lord is coming to rescue us and bring us to salvation, not to condemn us. It's unless of course you are one of the proud and evildoers. Yes, those people should be afraid, or should start preparing for the coming. But for those of you who are, for those of us who are trying to lead a good life and trying to follow the Lord, it's salvation. It's rescue time. So don't believe a word they say, and believe every word they say, if that's what it takes to be prepared. But you and I are already sitting in church. The gospel today, Jesus speaks of the tribulations and the difficulties ahead. And then he concludes with this hopeful message for you and me. But not a hair on your head will be destroyed. By your perseverance you will secure your lives. That's good news. By perseverance, not giving up in the spiritual life, but persevering in the spiritual life, yes, our Lord will come at the end of time to rescue us.